Hey, just a quick little vid today. What I've done, which I don't think I've ever done, is joined a build server to test something out. How about that? So, what I wanted to do is start with a 2x2 and then sort of expand from that into a base that sort of has everything I want. So here's where all power is coming from. You got your windmill, and you got 6 thingamabobbers. A cheeky little shotgun trap there for anyone who tries to climb up and cause, havoc. So the base is sort of divided into 2. This portion here, this started as a 2x2 and ended as a 2x3. You could potentially just have that and then ignore this section here. This section here is if you want gardening, if you want to do some plants, and also a garage. So, not necessary. You could basically cut this base in half and totally ignore this initial section. But I just wanted to show how I would potentially expand it. Okay, so first is, it's a little spot for your horse. There's for the horse poo. And here's a drop box. A drop box. So you could put everything in there. Now, say someone breaks in here and breaks all this. Not ideal, of course. Or breaks through this door. Also not ideal. This is where the garage is. However, turret right there. I checked and the turret does. So say someone does get into this area, the turret will, ideally take care of them. Also, cheeky little shotgun trap there. Okay, so again, all this portion here is just if you want to do farming and have a garage. If that's not something that you're interested in, totally fine. Okay, so yeah, have planting here. To have the heater on a separate switch, just in case. Oh, how come that light didn't come on? Okay, well that light should come on. Also, if you want just the lights, again, don't know why that one's not on. It's fine. Well, why don't I fix it? I guess it's just not enough power. That's my bad. Anyways, that's what that is. So the 6 things on top, all pooling into this. You've also got a refinery. And this is the initial filtering of the Dropbox over there. Okay, so now this is sort of more the base proper, if you will. Something I like and have done on more than one occasion is overhead storage. I do kind of like that idea. So it's just a half wall, triangles, blah, blah, blah. You can fit two boxes in one small box. The small box, I personally would use this for, rather than using the Dropbox, things that I'm going to recycle. So I would just throw them there, and then next time I head out of the base, I'd always check that, and if there's things that need to be recycled, they go there. All these lights are, well, why don't I show that at the end? Okay, the other thing I wanted to try to accomplish is have the honeycomb, which is what this section is, have useful things in it. Normally honeycomb is just honeycomb. There's nothing in it. But I like the idea of a honeycomb having things in it that if someone breaks in, most of this stuff is going to be filtered into the core, so it doesn't really matter if someone breaks in anyways. Turret here, which covers the whole honeycomb pretty much. This door actually would be your initial door on your 2x2. So you could sort of see the initial 2x2 is now all been high qualled, and that is the core. Eventually turning it into this, which, you could sort of peek out of that. to see if anyone's in here, which is kind of nice. And also you can, from inside, we'll see, you can actually access these 3 from inside. However, I am also filtering them in, should you wish to do that. Just a little mixing table, research table, you know, things like this. Say they break through here and they get my, you know, whatever, big deal. Yeah, workbench under the stairs is always nice. This, I kind of like this idea. They see this, and, you know, taking care of it from back here, easily doable. They think they've done a good job. They start going up the stairs. Shotgun trap right there. Alright, so working our way up. This is where a lot of the pipes are filtering through, where our large battery is, and the 3 workbenches. Now, I know a lot of people will just have one workbench down at a time. I do kind of like the idea of having all 3, so you need to tech trash. I do like having them all in one bay like this, as it were. And also I've added industrial crafters to the top. So that's something that you could have all 3 of them crafting, you know, various things at various times. A box, just a box. A couple more lockers for kits. And now you're going down. So when you build the 2x2, you would leave this roof wood so that you could knock it out after, which is what I did. Like I did all this as a sort of test. So again, you can sort of open this and actually access these safely. You can actually do this fairly early on. Have those there in a little triangle and access them from inside, and then exit through the roof, sort of thing. Door, kind of hard to close. Close door. Alright, so there's your gun box. This will be wood and charcoal. One thing I like about this too, say they do come through doors, raiders that is, and they get to this section. Seeing this would probably make them think this is a suicide bunker, which it technically kind of is. But we'll see in a second. You got 3 electric furnaces. This is where a lot of the filtering is being done. So from the drop box I showed you with the where you would park your horse, to that initial section in there, and then through here. Where some things, you know, guns end up there, but your scrap bits, excuse me, end up in here, and your refined materials end up in here. So this is sort of a, I don't know, kind of a mini core. I do have, this turns off the whole base. It is a smart switch though, so you need TEC access in order to turn it off. This is something that I've been doing lately to have automatic lighting that comes out on when it's dark out. So, electricity only passes through if only one thing, if only one of these nodes is receiving power. So, I'm just going to pretend it's night by unhooking this. So then all the lights in the base are going to come on, because it's quote-unquote nighttime. Alright, so this is a combination, which I don't think I've ever seen. Suicide bunker and TC. So you see the upkeep is, you know, 3,000, 1,100. It's a fair chunk. Also, the nice thing about this, you get all this storage as well, which is kind of cool. Storage. You're going to need a bag there. Now, rather than kill myself and spawn in the bag here, so you've got another bag in here with a bunch of storage, and this would be your quote-unquote suicide bunker. So it's sort of both. Both this style of bunker, the vending machine bunker, if you do in fact call that a bunker, as well as a suicide one. So you could put things in and out through there. So, you know, maybe one of these has got your boom in it. One of these, your good guns, you could put in there. TC, of course, has got TC stuff in it. Yeah, so one thing when you start, the first thing you got to do, this is going to be the first square you're going to put down, is have this bag and this TC. Just with the knowledge that, you know, it's probably going to take you a while to get the vending machine, probably going to take you a little while to get that. So there's going to be a portion of your base that at first will be unusable to you, which is, you know, not ideal, but I think the end result is kind of cool. Just at least an idea I've never seen before. So there's that. This was just for me to keep track of which of these blockers was which. So we've got lights, plants, car, turrets, smelting, and conveyors. This is for the turrets, because, you know, sometimes you gotta turn them off to put in ammo, etc. There is room for one to grow on, which is nice. One thing I did learn in a video the other day is you want, if you're not going to use all three, you use the two outer ones, and then no power goes to the middle one. However, if I was to use the first two, then 10 power would be going to this and just being wasted. So, you know, a cool little tidbit. Yeah, so that initial drop box will filter into this. Everything will get smelted. You don't necessarily need both these and this. However, you know, you're always going to run into that scenario, or at least I often have, where you need charcoal. So you could have both going simultaneously. What I would probably do is maybe have those doing sulfur, and because then sulfur and charcoal would end up in here, and then you could have this attached to one of the TCs, automatically creating gunpowder, which is pretty fun. I did not do that. And I guess that is basically it. The quick little 2x2 expanded to, you know, biggerness. Yeah. I think that's kind of all I wanted to say, but all in all, it is fair amount of high qual, and then, yeah. Alright. It's a pretty, this server is Intoxicated US Sandbox Creative. Yeah, I've actually seen, while I've been doing this, quite a lot of people. So, you know, take advantage if you ever want to try things. Oh, yeah, so that's a solar panel just for the lights. So now you'll see that's light. Oh, you know, let's get a, something that this server does, which is kind of neat. Alright. There you go. You come home at night, your door's lit up. Make it a little easier to put the, I should probably put a light in here too. Yeah. Anyways, not dissimilar to a lot of my builds, if you can call them that. It is that sort of proof of concept, see if I can do things, and then as I build this, there's things I notice that I'd want to improve. But one of the main ones is making the honeycomb, you know, useful, not just empty spaces. So there you go. I guess we could figure out how many doors it is. So say they decided to do doors. Well, if they did that door, they'd be in trouble. So there'd be one door. You know, ideally a high quality door, maybe not. 2 doors. 3 doors. 4 doors. 5 doors. 6 doors. Then they got sort of a choice here. Which way do I go? I don't know. I'd be tempted by that box, I feel like. Another little sneaky, little sneaky thing. Let's say they didn't. 6 doors, 7 doors, 8 doors, and then they would still have to deal with that. So, expensive, I would say, to raid. Yeah, I guess that's it. Other than to, of course, as I end every video by saying, it's nice to be nice to the nice.